Hello, my Whovian homies. I am the Doctor Who kid, and it's time I rectified one of my serious mistakes. So, 5 years ago now, I made my first video where I foolishly declared that Doctor Who was dead, and my main reason for this was simply just because the Doctor was a woman. Yeah, I started off as one of those lot. Now, I do have an explanation for this, but before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. The story of how I got into Doctor Who in the first place. You see, I got into it because of my dad. He watched it when he was a kid and he got me into it because he thought I might like it. And I did. I loved it. It was all I would go on about for ages. It just had such a hold over me. In fact, it had so much of a hold over me that everyone at school would call me that Doctor Who kid. Yeah, that's where I got my name from. Now, thankfully, as it turned out, I wasn't the only Doctor Who kid in school. I soon made a friend. We'll call him Tony, even though that wasn't his name. And me and Tony, we got on like a TARDIS on fire. We'd just always be talking about every episode, this cool monster, that cool companion. Oh my god, wasn't that so sad when he left? Ooh, so scary. I was hiding behind the sofa. I love those conversations. But, just like how companions and doctors leave every so often, even those good times had to come to an end. By the time we hit high school, me and Tony started to drift apart. He wasn't as interested in talking about Doctor Who all the time, and I could sense that, but soon he was off pursuing other interests, and I was left with nobody else who really wanted to talk to me about the show. And that led to a dark path for me, folks, because I started being a lot more negative about Doctor Who. In my mind, I just thought, it has to be something wrong with the show. The show's not as good as it used to be. That's why Tony and me didn't want to keep talking about it with me, and I didn't want to accept that the problem was me, that I just simply talk about Doctor Who too much, and nobody else has the same capacity that I do. So during this time, in order to validate my stupid negative feelings, I started watching negative reviews of the show. You know, I thought that would help. See, there's evidence, there's proof that I'm not going crazy, and eventually, around 2017-ish, that's when I found Shrek. He was making videos about Bill and how she was a lesbian, and that was ruining the show because they were adding messages, shoving them down our throats and all that stuff, and it sounded reasonable enough at the time to my stupid teenage brain, but then when I started watching Series 10, I really loved Bill. I thought, maybe it was just a fluke or something. And then of course came the big news. Doctor Who was going to be played by Jodie Whittaker. And that was a real storm. I'm sure we all remember that. All those anti-woke content exploded on the internet. I was watching more of those, and I decided, hey, I might as well get in on that too. I'm so passionate about Doctor Who, why not? So I decided to adopt my old schoolyard nickname and turn it into my online handle, and then I started making all those videos, and well, you saw what happened next. I eventually realized I just couldn't keep that up. I loved the show too much to maintain that constant negativity that all those Shreks of the world were doing. So I kept that going, and I'm really glad I had that epiphany, because looking at it now, Doctor Who is not dead. It's more alive than ever. It's Look, we've had 3 brilliant anniversary specials. All the episodes, except for An Unearthly Child, are available to watch on the iPlayer, along with all of the specials and a ton of documentaries and behind the scenes things and other stuff, all in one place. I would have killed for resources like that when I was getting into the show back in the 2000s. And look, plus, Russell T Davies has promised we're not going to get any more gap years for ages. Doctor Who is getting the attention from, Graham Norton and BBC Breakfast and all the daytime TV shows and constant news articles talking about all the stuff that's going on. Like, there's so much Doctor Who related stuff on the TV schedules, there's barely any room to swing a cat around. And of course, Ncuti Gatwa is the new Doctor now, and he is... God, look at him. He has got that energy, and he's going to be so good, I can feel it. And we're going to get so many weird, new, brilliant, mad things. Like, look at the bi-generation. Never in a million years would we have ever thought we'd be seeing something like that happen on the screen, and we are in an era where Russell T Davies has clearly run out of shits to give, and he is just going to do whatever mad, amazing, balmy thing comes into his head, and I am all for it, because that is going to give the show such an energy that we haven't had in who knows how long, and I will be really looking forward to see it every step of the way. So yeah, last year I promised I was going to give up reviewing, and I only stuck around this long for the anniversary specials. Yeah, I didn't review anything, and I took a different approach. Now is the time to go. You must go forward in all your beliefs, and hopefully prove to me that I am correct in mine. Yeah. I've been the Doctor Who Kid, and farewell, my Whovian homies.